Hello and happy Tuesday. My name is Wendy Lee and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US and super excited you're joining me today in my Creatively Yours studio for a little bit of paper crafting fun today. So what are we going to be working on? I have another fast, easy card for you today, but we're going to pull in an offset technique and a little bit of that fabulous new Shimmer Vellum paper. So here's the card. I hope you can see. Oh, I don't know that there we go. It's catching that lovely shimmer vellum. So this is a fun technique doing this little offset stamping here. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I've had people tell me that they have a little difficulty with it. And I really think it's more about the layers and getting those in there than it is worrying about the holes that are created when you stamp over multiple layers of cardstock. So we're going to show you how to do that today, and hopefully you enjoy this project. So I'm going to switch the camera over. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, well, I didn't mean to stop it altogether. We'll switch the camera over, actually. Yes. And then let me make sure that I am in the correct place. Make sure I'm in the Facebook group. So we are featuring the color and contour bundle in today's project. So this is one of the new bundles that's in the 2021-2022 annual catalog. And I love this stamp set. It's got such artsy images to it, and it is a two-step stamp set, which means you can stamp and use the individual images, or you can layer them and it kind of adds to the image. It creates the fuller, more detailed image. So, hey, Susan, so glad you're here. And from Florida, yay. I bet it's hot and sticky there. And then Jennifer, so glad you're here with me as well. So, and then these dies that coordinate with this bundle are awesome. So you've got the dies that are going to die cut the larger floral images. You've got this great little scallop border, but these are my favorite. All these different scallop rectangles. So we're going to use that today as well. So let's move that out of the way. Here is the project we're going to create again, so you can see that. And then let me open it up so you can see the card inside. So we've just brought the design inside. So I've kept this one super simple, minimal layers. And then I wanted to tell you, we are featuring, oh yeah, really muggy, rainy and humid every day. Oh, so sorry, Susan. I hate that. Well, hopefully you're inside enjoying some air conditioning and a little bit of crafting. Yes? All right. So we are featuring in this project Evening Evergreen, which is one of the 5 new 2021-2023 in colors. So that's this one here. So there's also soft succulent, pale papaya, fresh freesia, and polished pink. They're all fabulous colors. So you could do this particular project in any of those colors using the same supplies that I'm using for the most part to have it color coordinate, because the gems I'm using come with all 5 colors and the Shimmer Vellum come in all 5 colors. You could always get the cardstock in the assorted pack instead of a solid pack as well. And then of course the ribbons come individually with each color. So today's project happens to be one of the cards that I am mailing out to my monthly In Color Club participants. So if you'd like to find out more about my In Color Club, I will have that posted in the links so that you will have that. So, all right, let's get started. So I'm going to bring in 2 pieces of basic weight cardstock. So let me see if I've got my little sheet here. So this is 5 1/4 by 4. And then this is 3 1/8 by 1 7/8. I know that's an odd layer, but it's what looked nice with my my next layer here. So to start this out, I want to temporarily adhere these pieces together. So I'm going to use very, very little adhesive. I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Seal and just put a little bit on each end, just so it doesn't twist on me. I'm going to lay it down, and I don't want to push really hard because I'm going to pull this right back up, and I'm going to try to avoid ripping the paper as much as possible. Inside lurking on Facebook. Yes, of course. That's a great place to be when it's hot and muggy out. Hey, Mary, so glad you're here. Thank you for sharing as well. I appreciate that. That helps me out, my numbers, right? All right, so I've layered these two pieces temporarily together, and we're going to start by stamping the large floral image. Now, I've put a foam pad under here for a couple of reasons. I'm using a photopolymer stamp set, and since there's no foam, sometimes it really helps you get a better image if you're on a foam. So that's why I pulled it in. But secondly, this particular technique, anytime you stamp across multiple layers of cardstock, you're going to get some spots that don't stamp. That's okay. And what I'm going to show you today, that happens. It's all right. I'm going to show you how to make that into a fabulous project, even though you're going to have some spaces that don't stamp. So let me bring in my Memento black ink and just ink this up real good. A nice dark image here. I would pull in stays on, but I don't particularly care for stays on with the photopolymer stamps, if that makes any sense. All right, so I am going to make sure that I'm stamping my image across both layers. Now, I'm going to give it a little extra push, even though I know that it's not going to fill it in solid. It's okay. I'm going to give it a little extra push where those card layers overlap. And so you're going to see, I do have some spaces that didn't stamp. Again, that is okay. All righty. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to separate these pieces. So since I didn't go too crazy with my adhesive, I'm able to easily pull those apart. All right. So now we're going to layer this. So let's go ahead and do the rest of our stamping on this piece here. I'm going to go ahead and add my sentiment while I've got my Memento black out. Let's slide this over. It'll be easier to stamp. Perfect. So very happy for you. Maybe I'm straight. I cannot see. One thing about doing the videos is that I cannot get over the top of the project and really see where I'm stamping. So it's always a little bit of a surprise, if you will. Right? All right, because that's sticky, I'm just going to bring in my silicone craft sheet here for a moment until I can get that adhesive all worked out. So the next thing I'm doing is I am die cutting a piece of evening evergreen cardstock with this third largest scallop from the dies. Lovely. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now I'm going to layer these together. I probably should do my coloring before I go too crazy. Nah, we'll do it after. It'll be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and layer this piece of basic white on top of that evening evergreen. And I think I'm going to use dimensionals. So let me pull in some of my Stampin' Dimensionals. Now, you don't have to pop these up. We had our team meeting last night. I had to laugh because Sheila, I don't know if Sheila's on. Sheila told me that she looks at my cards and makes sure that there's no more than 2 layers popped up. If there's more than 2 layers, she puts one of them flat. So I thought that was fun. Good to know, right? Sometimes I pop up a lot of layers and sometimes I don't. I'm going to pop up this one too. So this gives me my 2 layers, which means she would put one of these flat because I'm going to pop up the main layer on the card front as well. But that's all right. You do what makes you happy. You can put them flat. You can pop them up, whatever makes you happy, whatever works for you. If you're going to pop it in the mail, you might want them a little bit more flat. I think this one will pop in the mail pretty easy. So now what I'm going to do when I lay this down is I'm really kind of lining up the image. So it looks like it was a continual stamped image. I think I need to go over a little bit further. All right, I think that's my right placement right there. All right, so now you can see your continual stamped image, and then it's broken up by this lovely scallop border, which covers up all of your parts that don't stamp when you do this. Fun? I love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, let's add in a little bit of color. So I'm going to bring in my Evening Evergreen Stampin' Blends, and I've got both the light and dark, but I'm going to use the light one for this. And don't you love these little dots on the end? So my friend and team member, Nancy Phillips, made these little charts for us, for the team to use. And I got permission to share them. So I'm going to try to share that file so that you guys can download it if you want to add these little dots to your blends. They're actually a little bit tedious to put together, but once you have them, they're fabulous. So now I'm just going to add a little bit of color with my Stampin' Blend to the leaf. So I'm using the brush tip end of my light blend, And I'm just going to swipe a little color in there. Nothing big, just a little swipe. Cute? All right, so fancy. Now I want to stamp this flower image one more time on this Shimmer Vellum. Have you guys seen this fabulous Shimmer Vellum yet? Oh, I love it. It comes in all 5 in colors. It's so pretty. And I'm going to stamp this floral image in Memento Black on this Shimmer Vellum. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. This takes a little bit to dry, and I didn't pre-stamp this, so I may end up with black ink all over me. If I do, I do, right? You could try to heat set it, and so you can kind of see that black stamped image on there. Isn't that nice? So like I said, it is going to take a little bit to dry. Things don't dry really on vellum because it's not a porous surface. You could heat set it, which I did not grab my heat tool to do, so I'm not going to do it. You could take this and die cut this with the die if you wanted to, but I'm going to fussy cut all the flowers apart anyway. So it's entirely up to you what you want to do. If you have the die and you want to run it through, it cuts out part of it for you. That's great, but you would still need to fussy cut away the part that I am doing. Oh, you've not tried this yet with the border? Oh, good. Well, hopefully this is something fun that you'll love, right? I think the border makes the difference in whether people see it as being difficult or not, right? Because the border covers up what I think people are struggling with. I'm just cutting away a little bit of this vellum first so that I'm not getting my hands all messy. So we'll see if I can cut this flower off. And we'll start with this one here. So when I'm fussy cutting, hopefully you guys can see this. When I'm fussy cutting, I don't always do it, but I try to move the paper and not the scissor really. And then I also find that if I'm deeper into the scissor when I'm fussy cutting, it actually turns out a little bit better, a little smoother of a cut than if I work at the tip. So there's one of the flowers right there. So I think that one lines up beautifully with this one right here. Nice. So we're just going to lay that in place so I don't misplace all my little flowers here. All right, let's start with the next one. We're just going to come around. And again, this is faster, I think, if you die cut it first and then come back and just clip away the parts that you don't need. But it doesn't matter. I wanted to show you don't have to have the dies to do this particular thing. You can use any flower, really. Oh, I got a little crazy there, cut off the edge. All right, that one's going to go there. 2 more. Cut up this little bud. So cute. So that one's going to go there. And then we've got one more. And then we'll glue them all down. All right. So you guys know we're at the end of the month. So we're just a couple more days left in June. So that means the last chance list for the January to June mini catalog is only till the end of the month. So you've only got a couple more days to purchase the items on your wish list. And there are some nice discounted items on that list as well. So if you've got items that you're wanting, this is the time to get them. And then in July, I don't know where I got January. In July, demonstrators, woohoo, very exciting. Demonstrators get you pre-order out of the, it's going to be called the July to December mini catalog, but it's actually not going to go live until August due to some circumstances beyond Stampin' Up's control with inventory. So it will be available in August for customers, but demonstrators get to pre-order in July, which is one of the awesome perks about being a demonstrator. So I'm just going to use a little bit of liquid glue at the bottom of my flower and adhere that into place. Now, one of the things I love about this Shimmer Vellum, other than the fact that it's absolutely gorgeous, right, is that I'm finding that I'm not seeing my adhesive through it as easily as I would a regular vellum. So that is making that pretty nice. But I'm just putting it at the bottom just in case, because if it adds a little bit of a shadow, I don't think that hurts anything. Now, could you color these? You know, there's a two-step stamp in here. I'm going to show you how to use that on the card inside. So you could have colored these with blends. You could have used the stamp and done the two-step stamping with it and gone about it that way. But I thought this was a fun, you know, paper piecing technique. All right, I'm just going to get glue on me so I can pick that up. Wow, sticky. I'm going to be sticky now. Makes me crazy. I don't like sticky fingers. I don't know if I was like that as a child. My mom will have to tell us. All right, put this on the bottom. So as I was saying, yes, demonstrators get to pre-order in just a few days, starting July 1st from the mini catalog. So if you cannot wait, I'd love to have you join my team. Get your stuff early. All right, so that is down in place, and hopefully I don't get too much black on it because, as I said, the black takes a little bit of time to dry. Looks like I got a little smidge of it right there, but that's okay. We're going to cover that up then with a gem just to hide it, so no one will ever know. All right, so that is that piece there. Let's go ahead and fold our card base in half. Let's see if I can get all the ink off my fingers. Hopefully I don't just keep putting black marks all over my white card. Who else does that besides me? I do it all the time. Fold that in half. So that was just an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of thick white. I like to use the thick cardstock if I'm using white and vanilla for the card bases, for the most part. Every once in a while I don't. It depends on the layers and the fold I'm doing. But for a basic card, yep, I'm going to use the thick cardstock. Just seems so much nicer. A little closer to the same weight as our colored cardstock as well. All right, so we're going to pop this up. Now, could we have done a lot of other things? We could have added some ribbon. We could have added some designer paper. You know, we could have added many more layers and all of that. But I was really trying to keep this fast, easy, super simple. All right, so let's go ahead and add a ribbon, a coordinating ribbon bow. So I've got about 9 to 10 inches of ribbon here. And I'm going to make my little bow. You guys know I love baby bows. So just pull that. And my bows always end up upside down when I tie them for whatever reason. I've just decided that's how they work for me. And so I know this going in. All right. So now that I've got the basic bow, which looks terrible, I'm going to hold this knot and pull my ends to bring that loop in a little smaller. And then I can tighten that back up. And so I can keep working this until I'm happy with the size of bow that I have. And people are like, oh my gosh, doesn't it kill you to do those baby bows? I'm like, it doesn't. I love doing them, and the more you do them, the easier they are to do. So I can't say it always looks wonderful the first time I do it, every time I do it, but boy, I like that baby bow. It's cute. All right, we'll just clip off the excess we don't need. And let's pull in. Hey, Tammy, so glad you popped in. Paula, so glad you're here. All right, there's a glue dot right there, or as I like to call them, boogers. That's a story for another day. All right, I actually think I'm gonna put the bow right there, so it looks like it's coming off that stem there, right? And then let's add some bling, because who doesn't like some bling on the card? Plus, I got some open spots, and I got something I got to cover up because I made a mess. So we're gonna put a little extra bling on here today, right? Now, I like to work in odd numbers with this, but we'll see how this all plays out. So these are the in color gems. I didn't check today to see if they're orderable. They may not be orderable at this moment. They have been super popular. I'm thinking they're not orderable today. I should have double checked that. I'm still going to put one down here because I like that look of those 3, but we want to cover that up. Let's see. Didn't really want gems over there, but you know what? We're going to do it because I want to cover that big black smudge that I put on there. So one there is nice. Let's add a second one. Oh, I kind of like that now that I've gotten there. All right, so if we're going to do that, let's go crazy and add one more gem, like up here. So it looks like I plan to put a whole bunch of gems on here. All right, maybe. So that one's a little bit busier than what I had on the original. You guys have to tell me which one you like better. Oh yeah, Leslie, that would be awesome if they sold ready-made bows. That would be cool. Oh, Susan, I'm glad you like it. All right, let's do the inside. We don't want to leave any naked insides, right? No naked insides. So I'm going to pull in a scrap of paper and that foam pad back in again. And let's go ahead and just add this flower to the inside as well. Now you could stamp sentiments in there or a sentiment as well if you'd like to, but I'm going to just go ahead and add this flower. Let me see if I turn this, if I won't have the card flipping on me so much. Yeah, maybe. Get a little bit more on the pad. Oh, I don't know if it's going to work. All right. Take this black memento pad. Let's ink this up again. And we're going to just stamp right off this edge. I'm going to turn this so that I can get a hold of it. But I'm going to stamp off this edge coming in like that. Nice. I think that's a little deeper than what I did on the original, but we'll find out in a moment, won't we? And then I want to show you the two-step part of this. So I've got evening evergreen ink as well. So you could take the same thing. You could do the same technique we did with the vellum and put the vellum on the inside because it's flat and it would mail just fine. Or you can do this lovely technique here, which is the two-step, which adds the fill to the inside. Now remember, this is a really artsy stamp set, so that fill is not solid. If that's too dark, you could stamp off and make it a little bit lighter if you're worried about that being so dark. I think I'm going to go ahead and bring back in that blend, that light evergreen, and add the little, what I'm calling the little squiggle or swish on that stem, just to give it a little bit of color there too. So I like that. I think that's pretty. And as it dries, it does dry a slight bit lighter than the actual card base itself. So goodness gracious, I'm getting a mess. So here's the original. Here's the one we did today with a little extra bling to cover some of my mistake there. And then let's see how the insides turned out differently as well. Yeah, so this one I pushed down a little bit further, and I believe I stamped off on that based on what I'm seeing. So, but they're both pretty. I think anybody would like either one. Yay? You guys like them? I hope so. Yeah, they're not orderable right now. Yeah, I figured they weren't. So the in color gems are not orderable right this minute. But you know how you get around that. Use regular rhinestones and color them with your Stampin' Blends. And then you have the colors that you want. So that will work as well. So you can still make this fabulous card, even though you can't get those particular items right now. Yay. All right, I hope you guys love this. Be sure to share with your crafty friends if you're enjoying the videos. And if you're watching on replay, I'd love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, right? All right, I will see you guys next Tuesday for a little bit more fun, right? Thank you. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful week. Bye for now.